On April 10th, we're going to have a Mars Saturn conjunction in the watery sign of Pisces. A conjunction is when the two planets are merging together and it magnifies their energy. Now, Mars and Saturn, they are the two great malefics, meaning they are more difficult to work with. They are combined in Pisces, and Pisces brings both faith and illusion, whether you're vibing high or vibing low. So this transit, it's more about the courage and the resilience of going through something, because Saturn wants to slow Aries energy down. It wants to make sure that the energy is directed in the right direction. Mars and Saturn together, it brings one of two things. It can bring frustration, limitation, irritation, anger, restriction, resentment, self-doubt, and insecurity, or it can transmute this energy and bring the energy to unite, to form this disciplined action, to focus. It's more of an inspired action. It's about being practical and having practical idealism, determination, and this steady progress to move forward. This transit can bring this deeper relationship with what are your needs, your desires, your imagination, your creative potential. Mars really wants to cut through the illusion that Pisces energy can bring about and better align with what is the truth and to connect with everyone. Mars is the planet that's connected with how we go after literally what do we want? How do we pursue? Mars is the warrior. It's how you relate to your desires. It's your anger. It's your sexuality. It's your drive. It's your passion. So this transit is about your self-assertion with how you move towards and experience these fluctuations in your desires and this possible confusion that can come out of this, or this disorientation that comes from what do you really want, because Pisces is like unclear. It's Pisces is the illusion, and it's mystical and it's magical. Pisces is a mutable sign, meaning it's fluctuating, it's changing. It's the fish. If you think of the fish both swimming in two opposite directions, it represents the division between what is fantasy and what is reality. What joy, pain, hope, fear. And how do we integrate these lessons? How do we bring them together, like the yin and the yang? How can we bring our Mars-driven energy with passion and Saturn being so goal-oriented together? This can be an opportunity that can have you learning about, where do I take action without using force? How can I surrender to the flow and the harmony in order to move forward using only as much effort as what's truly necessary? Tapping in and following your gut instinct or your intuition in order to connect with the divine. This conjunction is really going to direct your attention to how do you relate to your insecurities, to your fears. It may, like, what is holding you back from asserting yourself, and in regards to what are your desires and going after what do you really want. This transit can bring some serious limitations that are out of your control and that you're going to have to accept and only surrender to. This is going to allow for an opportunity for you to strengthen your resilience and your patience. It's going to be a chance for you to learn to work through any of these frustrating feelings that you're having and to navigate this information, because is an illusion. Is this fake news? Is this real? Is this my interpretation or my thoughts and feelings about what is going on? I don't know what somebody else is bringing to the table. I don't know what they're going through. And so I'm encouraging you to not get lost in the sea of information, and be sure to ground yourself in the here and now as you navigate this transit in these murky waters. Hi, I'm Patricia Tate, and this is your April 10th Mars Saturn Conjunction Transit Forecast. To get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. Now let's dive in. So for Aries Sun and Aries Rising, Mars Saturn Conjunction is happening in your 12th house. It's very important because Mars is your chart ruler. Now, I first want to talk about Pisces. Pisces is the ruler of your 12th house where all of this energy is occurring. The 12th house represents self-sabotage. It represents hidden enemies. It also represents dreams, the Akashic records, tapping into your ancestors, what energy you're bringing in from past lives. It represents shamanic work. It represents where you go to do these deep journeys for the inner healing in order for you to transcend and for you to connect with the divine. It's the Pisces is the most evolved sign of the Zodiac, meaning it's connected to the universe and wanting to be one with everyone. And having two malefics here, this is really pushing through what do you need to cut through? What do you need to be able to say, what is real? What is reality? So Mars rules your first house of self. So we know this has everything to do with you and your identity, your appearance, your power, your self-expression, what you're bringing to the table, how people see you. I always say it's like your outlook or how you're being seen, or like your website or like your business card. It's this is who I am, who you are presenting. And Mars also is the co-ruler of Scorpio, your 8th house of your shared resources. This is the house of deep psychological bonds and birth, death, rebirth. It's the house of transformation. So it's these bonds or these connections that you have with people that can be through deep connections that you have with family members or exes or business partners or significant others. And so we know that we're bringing those two energies in, and Saturn is saying, I want to show you the right direction. I want to slow you down to make sure that we can direct your energy for its greatest good. Now, Saturn rules over your career, your job, your legacy, how you're seen in the outside world. This is like not only authority figures, but this is your goals. It is your awards. It is where you make your mark on society. And it also rules over your 11th house of your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, and who you navigate those organizations and clubs in order for you to get to where you want to go to. So bringing this all together can offer you two ways to go down the it can offer you two ways of how can you navigate this. The first, frustration, limitation, anger, restriction. And I'm going to add in self-sabotage and not paying attention to the intuition, the dreams, the guides, your spirit, your ancestors, doing the inner work where I rest and I retreat inwards in order to get the information, the messages, connecting into the divine or angels or guides. You have both of these avenues available to you. One wants to unite the energy and form disciplined action, and the other one is limited action. So you are in control of how things play out here. Mars wants to get what it wants, when it wants, and how it wants, and it's pursuing things. And so this has everything to do with who you are, who you want to be seen as, your personal goals, where you feel restricted and held back, and where you might have to truly step back and say, how can I take action without using force? I need to learn how to surrender to the flow and be in harmony with the universe and move forward with the least amount of effort as possible. Think of it as swimming, and there's a rip current or a rip tide. You don't fight against it in order to get into the shore. You swim alongside of it until you're out of it, and then you can move into the shore. And so this is strengthening your resilience, your patience, allowing you this opportunity to navigate what is really going on, is not getting lost in the sea or the murky waters that Pisces can offer, but transcending to the higher vibration that Pisces can offer. Like Pisces is psychic and intuitive and dreams and heartfelt energy and wanting to be united with everybody. And so I'm encouraging you, don't hold back on your, like address your fears, don't hold back, but learn to navigate and move forward with, what do I have to do to get what I want? But know that some things in life, they're just going to be out of my control. So Aries, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For a private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Taurus Sun and Taurus Rising, this energy of the Mars Saturn Conjunction is occurring in your 11th house. The 11th house is ruled by the sign of Pisces. Pisces is, watery and intuitive and wanting to bring together and merge with other people, with your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, your goals. It's with people that you work with, and it's people that you align with in order to volunteer or through activities where you connect with peers or your star family or your kindred spirits. Now, Mars rules over your 12th house. The 12th house is where the eclipses are occurring for you, so it's highly activated. It is the energy of can be self-sabotage, and it can be those hidden enemies. And I'm not paying attention to like what is going on. It's also the house of my dreams, the Akashic records, angels, guides, my ancestors, tapping into doing the shamanic work, the inner healing, tapping into my past lives and bringing into this life, or if you don't believe in past lives, what have my ancestors passed on down to me that I can use to my benefit? So there's two vibrations of this energy. Mars also rules over your 7th house of partnership. And so this can be business partners, significant others, clients, one-on-one relationships. The 7th house is where you love people. It's also where we negotiate contracts. And so we're bringing in this energy of where are you going after what you want in order to move forward with. Now, Saturn rules over not only your career, your job, authority figures, your legacy, your goals, your ambitions, your reputation. It also rules over your 9th house of cross-cultural experiences, traveling places, teaching, legal matters, publishing things, a deep dive into religion and spirituality, bringing all of these topics together to say, okay, Pisces is murky. Pisces is illusion. Pisces is dreamy, and I might not have all the right information to move forward with what I want to see and what I want to do. And so Saturn is trying to restrict the energy of Mars going after things without thinking first. Saturn really wants to direct or constrict the energy of how do you pursue something? How do you go after? What are you going after? Clients, partnership, traveling, publishing something, legal matters, something for your career, your job, and how can you use your intuition, your guides? How do you use what you have available inside in order to move forward on the outside? It's like tapping into the inner sources to navigate what's going on the outside. Mars and Saturn here can bring frustration or limitation or anger with some of the groups that you're in, or resentment or self-doubt about where you are with work associates or projects that you are part of, or star families that you're a part of. And so together, this is offering you an opportunity to say, I need to learn to take action without using force. I need to learn how to surrender to flow in harmony and to move forward with the least amount of effort necessary. I need to tap into and follow my intuition, my spirit guides, what the angels are trying to tell me, what I know to be true. The 12th house brings a connection to the divine. It offers you this opportunity to transcend and have this inner healing by taking the deep journeys. And so this conjunction is truly directing your attention into how you relate to your insecurities, your fears, and look at what is truly holding you back in regards to what are your desires, your wants, your needs, and what you are initiating or wanting to go after. And this transit can also, because of Saturn here, it can bring you these limitations that are truly just going to be out of your control. You will have no control over what the group is doing or what the goals are, because they will be fluctuating. Remember, Pisces is watery, murky, unseen, and transcendence. And it'll be out of your control, and you're going to have to focus on how can I accept, to learn to surrender in order to strengthen my resilience and my patience, in order to work through the frustration that I'm feeling and to navigate this information and to not get lost in the sea of all this, to take some time to really ground yourself in the here and now as you navigate going after what are your wants, needs, desires, goals, and your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, and your aspirations. So Taurus, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For a private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Gemini Sun and Gemini Rising, the Mars Saturn Conjunction is occurring at the top of your chart in your career, your job, your legacy, authority figures. Pisces is the watery sign that wants you to combine your thoughts and your feelings into one. It's about merging and wanting to connect and be of service to the world, be at one with the world. Mars rules over your 11th house of your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your goals, your networks, your star family, where you volunteer with or where you become part of groups, whether for joy or pleasure or work. Now, Mars also rules over your daily habits, your self-care, thinking outside the box, who you surround yourself with as a mentor or a guide, or this could also be co-workers. Now, Saturn rules over your 9th house of these cross-cultural experiences, you traveling, you connecting with other people that can be far away by taking a class or teaching a workshop or diving into a religion or spirituality and having these open communications or thoughts and conversations about it, being open-minded about it. The 9th house also rules over not just higher education and long distance travel, but it's about adventure and legal matters and publishing things. And so know that those can be topics along with your 8th house of who are you connected with on a deep level. The 8th house for you is the people that you are deeply bonded with. This can be specific family members, like if you share property or resources. It can be exes, because like let's say you have children or you've shared these experiences. It can be significant others, and it can be business partners. The 8th house is who you are connected with, and it's the house of psychological, it's birth, death, rebirth, and the opportunity for transformation. And so putting all this in together, the story can go one of two ways. Having this frustration, this feeling that you're limited with your job, your career, resentment, having self-doubt, feeling insecure about going after or who's limiting me and stopping me. Or look at this as an opportunity to say, I have the opportunity to unite. I can have this formed a discipline, this focused, inspired action to move forward with determination and steady progress that will, for my career, for a legacy, for my public life, for my ambitions, for things that I want to achieve in the long run, whether I'm recognized for them or not. What do you want to do? And how do you go about doing that? This transit's going to bring this deeper relationship with your desires, because it's about your imagination and your creative potential and what you can share with the world. Mars wants to cut through the illusion, and this Pisces energy can bring you all kinds of opportunities in order for you to better align with the truth. Mars is how we go about getting what we want. How do we cut through? How do we pursue? And Saturn wants to like limit and pull in and restrict and saying, think before you act. Pisces is just this opportunity to say, I'm going to give this murky water and give you two options. And I want you to weed through this or go through. It's kind of like all of the watery grass that's inside there, the seaweed. And you're trying to navigate and saying, why am I being limited? This transit brings these limitations that are out of your control, and you learning to accept and to surrender in order to strengthen your resilience and your patience, and to say, I have to work through this frustration that I'm feeling. I have to learn to navigate this information that's coming at me, to not get lost in the sea of information, and learning to take action without using force, to learn to surrender to the flow and the harmony in order to move forward with just the least amount of effort as possible, and follow your intuition. This is really strong for your gut, your intuition, your higher power. That's what Pisces represents. All right, so Gemini, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Cancer Sun and Cancer Rising, the Mars Saturn Conjunction is occurring in the sign of Pisces in your 9th house. So the 9th house for you represents a deep dive into spirituality or religion, wanting to understand things and connect with other people, like through cross-cultural experiences far and wide. This could also mean teaching it or learning it or publishing or legal matters. It's you connecting to other people far and wide and sharing your beliefs and your experiences with other people to change, grow, and evolve. Now, both of the malefics here, Mars rules your 10th house, your career, your job, your legacy. This is really important because this is a signature for what is going on with the eclipses going through your career, your life path sector. The 10th house represents your reputation, your ambitions, your goals, authority figures, you being seen as an authority figure. And so this is all about that, and bringing in 5th house topics of your creativity, children, childlike activities. The 5th house represents love and joy and pleasure and art and music. And where do we take risks? So we're throwing those two themes together. And then I want to bring in Saturn. Saturn rules over your 8th house of these deep bonding connections that you have either with family, like maybe you share property or resources with them, or these deep bonding experiences of things that you've gone through in the past. It could be exes. It could be business partners or significant others, like marital partners. Right now, these are people that you have these deep connections with that can be psychological in nature in order to transform this birth, death, rebirth cycle. Now, Saturn also rules over your 7th house. The 7th house is love, it's intimacy, it's best friends, significant others. It is clients, one-on-one relationships. It's how we learn to negotiate. It's contracts and promises that we make to other people. And so if you bring in all of these things to create a story, you have a couple of options here. Things are kind of murky. It's watery. It is like, think about the water and having the seaweed, the grass, and you're in it, and you can either feel frustration, feel limitation, feel anger, feel restriction and resentment and self-doubt and insecurity about where you're, the classes that you're taking, or where you're moving towards in life and being seen as this authority figure, and why am I being held back? Or you can work with the energy and say, I need to funnel this Aries energy using the Saturn restriction to say, I'm going to unite. I'm going to have this disciplined action, focused, determination, steady progress. I want to dive into this. I want to have this published. I want to move forward with like Mars is the planet of action and passion and desire, of where we pursue something and how you move forward with getting to where you want to be. It's the self-assertion of moving you towards this experience. And now you're going to have these fluctuations in, what do you desire? All this confusion. I'm disoriented. This is what I really want. Why can I not get what I want? And Pisces, it's just offering you this enlightenment, this spiritual communal feeling from others, but it's not clear with what is fantasy, what is reality. And you're integrating these lessons of Mars being driven with passion, Saturn saying, I'm going to be goal-oriented. I want to do this. And how are you learning to take action? How are you learning to slow down and not use force, and to surrender to the flow and the harmony in order for you to move forward with, no, this is what I want. And how can I move forward with the least amount of effort as possible to get to where I want to do? Flowing with the current. You know how some fish, they flow with it instead of fighting the tide or the current, just being where it is and being in the moment, tapping in and following your intuition and saying, I'm supposed to be here, I'm supposed to be doing this, and working with, how do I relate my insecurities and my fears with, this is what's holding me back? How do I assert myself in regards to, these are my desires and I want to go after them? And this transit is going to bring you limitations that are just going to be out of your control. They're going to hold you back. And it's an opportunity for you to learn to accept and surrender what comes your way in order to strengthen your resilience and your patience in order for you to move forward and grow with, to learn to work with what you have and navigate the information of what is real, what is not real, what is in my head, what is made up, or what is somebody else bringing to the table, and is that real, or is it in their head? And so I'm encouraging you to flow with this, because it's an opportunity for you to use this for your career. You're taking all of this energy together, and laser focus is the goal, and not striking others. But it's like, this is how I'm going to navigate this, and this is where I'm going to surrender. This is where I'm going to work through any of the frustrations that I'm feeling in order to evolve and grow from this transit. So Cancer, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For a private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Leo Sun and Leo Rising, Your Pisces house is your eighth house. This is the house of deep psychological transformation, evolution. It's birth, death, and rebirth. It's the connection that you have with people in your life that that you have lived through like trauma with, or that you have worked through or have experienced major life events. These can be business partners. This can be significant others that you are deeply bonded with. This can be exes. This could be significant others that you are no longer like in contact with. And so Mars and Saturn are the great malefics in this watery sign of murky water, of where you're wanting to connect with others, where you're wanting to heal, where you feel hurt and want to transform and evolve past that pain and that hurt. Mars rules over your ninth house. There's a lot of action going on in that with the eclipses going on. And so we know that it's in direct relationship to what do you want to have published? Where do you want to go travel to? What legal matters are you working through? Taking a class, taking a workshop, wanting to have these cross-cultural experiences and be out there in the world. Mars also rules over your fourth house of home. So we know that themes surrounding family or your past, your genealogy, your grandparents, people who feel like family, or people who raised you or felt like family as you were growing up. Now, Saturn rules over your daily habits and what you do to initiate self-care of yourself. It also represents your aunts, your uncles, and guides and mentors that we turn to and we look to for support and help. Saturn also rules over your seventh house of partnership, love, business partners, significant others, your best friends, your one-on-one relationships with others, your clients. And so you're taking all of these houses with the energy of the meaning and saying, I'm merging it into the house of deep psychological transformation and saying, I have two options. I can cut through and feel frustrated and limited and restricted and feel anger and self-doubt and insecure because I'm thinking back on the way things used to be. Remember that Pisces is water. It's deep, murky water. It's also the illusion, and it's also dreamy. It's transcendence. You can also use this for Saturn, not just restricting, but saying, let me show you, let me take that energy and direct it in the right way, and uniting it in order for you to have this disciplined action, practical idealism about what you can really accomplish, steady progress, determination of, no, I'm going to work through this. I'm determined that this is going to be better because of, I want to, this definitely has to do with like publishing or legal matters or traveling, these teaching. It's you connecting to the outside world. And so, Pisces is offering you this opportunity to figure out what is joy, what is reality, what is pain, what are my hopes, what are my fears. Like it's integrating your life lessons that you've experienced up to this point and navigating where am I going to now move through. Mars being driven with passion and Saturn saying, I am going to be goal-oriented. Together, you are learning to, how do I take action without using force? How do I surrender to the flow and to the harmony in order for me to move forward using the least amount of effort in this area of my life as possible? Tapping into and following my gut instinct, my intuition. This conjunction is really drawing your attention to how do you relate to your insecurities and your fears of what is holding you back. We know it's things that have happened a long time ago, and it could be like past lives, but it's deep psychological pain and hurt and transcending it. And this could be truly an opportunity. This transit can truly bring about limitations that are just going to be out of your control and that you can only accept and surrender to them. This allowing you the opportunity to grow through strengthening your resilience and your patience, to learn to work through the frustration that you're feeling and to navigate this information, to push through in a way that I learn to flow with the energy instead of like cutting through the energy. Remember, it's water. So flowing with the current and the waves instead of trying to use like a knife in water. You know, the knife just goes right through. So Leo, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Virgo Sun and Virgo Rising, the Saturn-Mars conjunction is occurring in your 7th house. Your 7th house is ruled by the sign of Pisces. Pisces is watery, intuitive, psychic. It's where, you know, it's the fish swimming in two opposite directions, wanting to be at one with the universe, but also fluctuating between, is this fantasy, is this reality, is this joy, is this pain, is this hope, is this fear, integrating all of these lessons that you learn in life through partnership. Business partners, significant others, best friends, open enemies, exes, negotiations, love, contracts. The 7th house is you with other people. Now, Mars rules over your 8th house. Your 8th house is really important because this is where the eclipses are occurring. So we know that the energy is leading up to this. So the 8th house is the house of deep psychological transformation, birth, death, rebirth. It's the house of where you have these bonds with family members who have raised you or there have been a trauma response with, or positive love and joy that you feel these deep connections with. It's also exes, and it's business partners, it's significant others. It's who you are in a deep committed relationship with, whether it's joint ventures or you have been with. It is the house of these shared resources that you have with other people. And this could be through growing up or currently in your life. Now, Mars also rules over your 3rd house of communication, siblings, cousins, neighbors, and how you're communicating this information. And it's also technology and travel. Now, Saturn rules over your 5th house of love and of what do we love and who do we love, what brings us joy and pleasure. The house of creativity, meaning music and art and children and affairs, and I want to take a risk for this. This brings me joy and pleasure. The 5th house is it's like where we look for risk and excitement. It also rules over your daily habits of how do you take care of yourself? Who do you search out in order for daily self-care? A counselor, a mentor, a guide, an aunt, an uncle, vitamins and supplements, and a chiropractor, and sound therapy, tapping. It's what do you do on a daily basis that you can take care of yourself. And so we know that something is going on with you, with partnership, with love, with contracts. This can be open enemies, exes, relationships that you have with other people. It is you in relationship to other people. There's 2 ways that this can go down. The first is I feel frustrated, I feel limited, I feel anger, restriction, self-doubt, insecurity, not believing in myself. Because of what I'm seeing, the water is murky. Remember that Pisces is watery, so I want you to think of you in the water with seaweed and trying to navigate who are you working with, love, relationships, contracts, negotiations. And Saturn comes in and says, let me guide you. Let me restrict your energy in and laser focus it on how you can navigate this water. It's the energy to unite people. It's disciplined action to move forward with focus, practical idealism, determination, and steady progress in order to you're going to be taking this of whatever you're doing with contracts, promises, people that you're working with for the eclipse. So know that what's going on, you're going to be using it with people that you're already in contracts with afterwards. Mars being the planet that's connected to how we go after, what we go after, our passion, our drive, and Saturn wanting to restrict. This transit is about your self-assertion and how do you move towards these experiences, and it fluctuates. And there can be confusion and disorientation about what do you truly want? What do you truly desire? And how do you go after that? Mars is driven, Saturn being goal-oriented. Together, you're learning to, how do I take action with partnership or love or contracts or clients? How do I move forward without using force? How do I learn to surrender to the flow and the harmony of the universe and use the least amount of effort as possible? It's flowing with the universe. It's flowing with the current. It's not going upstream like the fish that goes upstream to spawn. It's you saying, I have to be in the here and now, and I have to work with what I've got. Working with your insecurities and your fears that can be holding you back from asserting yourself. In regards to your desires, your what do you want to do? Who do you want to work with? Who do you want to have contracts with? Partners. This could be business or significant other, and best friends. This transit is probably going to bring you some limitations that are just out of your control, and that you're going to have to sit back and learn to accept and to surrender to this happening, allowing for the strengthening of your resilience and your patience as you navigate this, for things being out of your control, to learn to work through this frustration that you're feeling in order to navigate this information and say, how do I heal myself? How do I ground myself? How do I work in the here and now with what I have control over? Only controlling over yourself, not in control of the whole situation. And as a Virgo rising, we all know you like order, you don't like the chaos. And so this is learning to work with what the universe throws at you. So Virgo, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Libra Sun and Libra Rising, the Mars Saturn Conjunction is occurring in your Pisces house of your daily habits, your health, your wellness. What do you do to take care of yourself? Seeing a chiropractor, seeing like alternative medication, alternative health and healing, counselor, psychiatrist, psychologist, a guide, a mentor. This could be tapping into the Akashic records. This could be sound therapy, tapping. This is what do you do on a daily basis to make sure that you are mentally sound. And it's also the relationship that you have with your coworkers, and it can represent like diet and avoiding illness. And so know that something is going on with this that's going to relate to partnership, because Mars rules over Aries, and that is where the eclipses are occurring in your 7th house of love and your connection with business partners, significant others, best friends, clients, one-on-one relationships, open enemies, exes. You're going to have an eclipse occurring here, and this is what's the prelude of you having lack of control of some things going on in your life and what is now starting. Mars also rules over your 2nd house of your self-worth, your cash, your property, your personal resources, personal things, people, places, and things that you value in order for you to feel secure with where you're moving towards in life. And do you make this a daily practice? So Saturn rules over your home, your family, your roots, your foundation, who has built you, your ancestors who you brought in, and who is in your life that either is family or feels like family. Saturn also rules over your 5th house of children or love affairs, or the house of creativity, where we take risks, art, music, poetry, and it's the house of where I look for excitement. So we know that the themes of this are all coming together to tell a story about, are you making self-care a priority for yourself? Are you putting your needs first? Because you cannot pour from an empty cup. This can bring about two avenues. One is frustration and limitation and anger and insecurity and restriction of, I feel like I'm always having to take care of everybody else, and like the slave mentality of always having to be there for everybody else. Or it could be the opportunity to take the Mars energy and use Saturn's restriction to fine-tune and focus it, narrow it down. This is an opportunity to unite, to make this disciplined action of no. No means no. I have an appointment planned for that day. I have to focus. I have to have steady progress for my mental, physical, spiritual, psychological, emotional health and well-being. And you have to make it a daily practice for you. Mars being the planet of how we go after what we want, wanting to cut through. It's how you pursue something. It's your desires. It's your drive. And this transit is about your self-assertion with how do you move forward or towards and work with the flow of these fluctuations. Remember, Pisces is very watery. Think of yourself in the water with seaweed and having to navigate and not being able to see clearly. It's foggy. This could mean that the counselor's appointment gets canceled, or that your exercise program, or like something that you had scheduled, like you're off your daily habits, like of what you do for self-care, and you saying, I need to learn to take action without using force. I need to learn to surrender to the flow and the harmony in order for me to move forward using only as much effort as possible. Not get angry about the situation that's occurring, but learn to say, I probably, like, what is that saying? You get more flies with honey than vinegar. So be nice, be kind. Like if something comes up and something gets canceled, approach it with, how can I, like, what is the soonest that you can reschedule this? Or is there somebody else? Or look to, how can I tap into my intuition and follow it for my best and highest good? How do I learn to relate my insecurities and fears of what is holding me back and assert myself in regards to what are my wants, my needs, and my desires? This transit is most likely going to bring definite limitations that are just going to be out of your control, and it's only going to be it's going to be you learning to accept and surrender that you are powerless about what is going on, that will allow you the opportunity to strengthen and resilience yourself with patience, to learn to work through this frustration that you're feeling and to navigate the information as it comes to you, because we don't know what's going on, like with ourselves. They don't know what's going on. Like you're literally trying to navigate through murky water and knowing that transcendence can come from this. Pisces is the sign of the divine. It's just a matter of learning to be in flow, be in the connection with the universe. And so be sure to ground yourself in the here and the now as you move forward. So Libra, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising, the Mars Saturn transit is occurring in the sign of Pisces in your 5th house. The 5th house for you represents children or childlike activities. It's where we take risks. It's where we initiate love affairs or things that we, gambling, passion, desire, art, music, creativity, things that we want to do that truly bring us joy and pleasure. Now, Pisces, think of it as very watery and wanting to be at one with everybody else. Mars rules over your 6th house of your daily habits, bringing in more fun, joy, and pleasure into your daily habits. This is important because the eclipses are going to be occurring. The next eclipse is going to be occurring in this house, and it's the ruler of. Mars also rules over your 1st house of self, your identity, your appearance, your self-expression, your power. It's like your business card. It is your outlook of being seen. And so this is in a trine with who are you? Who are you transforming into? Who are you initiating or wanting to be in flow with the universe of, I feel the need to go after this. How do I initiate this? How do I go after this? Now, Saturn rules over your 4th house of your home, your family, your roots, your foundation, the people that feel like home. It is also your ancestors, your foundation. It is your real estate, your property, your traditions. It is the house of your ancestors that have been brought in, like genealogy, or the people that are living in your house currently. It also rules over your 3rd house, which includes your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, the way that you communicate, and short distance travel that can include your neighbors. So we're pulling all of these resources, all of these thoughts and ideas of the meanings of what's going on in your life into where are you initiating things that you want to go after. The 2 ways that this can happen is difficulty with I'm frustrated, I feel limited, I'm angry, I am feeling restricted or insecure in this relationship or with what I'm doing or with my children or having children, self-doubt, or you can flow with the energy. Pisces, think of it as water, and it's deep water, it's murky water. We cannot always see through. It's the seaweed, it's the seagrass that's there, and it's you learning to flow and go with it. Mars doesn't like to do this. Mars is a knife. It's a blade. It wants to cut through, and you cannot cut through the water. And Saturn is offering this opportunity to say, let me restrict some of this energy and show you where you can unite, where you can have this disciplined action, where you can focus on inspired action to go after your goals, your where you want to take a risk, or poetry or art or people, like it's affairs. It's whatever brings you pleasure and joy, where you're willing to take a risk. Mars wants to cut through this illusion of this Pisces energy, and it wants to align with the truth. And Saturn says, let me narrow your focus a little bit. Mars being the planet of how we go after with what we want and what we desire, it's how we relate to it. This transit can have this, your self-assertion with how you move forward with these experiences and these fluctuations, because it's watery, in possible confusion and disorientation about, well, I thought I wanted that, I'm really doing this, or with something that's going on with your children and their feelings, and then it's being reflected back to you. Pisces is this mutable sign that's like representing the division between what is fantasy and what is reality. And Mars driven with passion and Saturn being goal-oriented. It's how do you integrate all of these lessons in this area of your life relating to you, your home, how you communicate, making your health and well-being your daily practices of bringing joy and pleasure into your daily life a priority. That's where you're working with, I need to learn to take action to move forward with using force of surrender. The force is I have to learn to let go, let flow. I have to surrender to the flow and the harmony of the universe in order to move forward with as little effort as possible. Just go with the current of wherever it is sending you, to tap in and to follow your intuition. This conjunction is really going to direct your attention into how you relate to your insecurities and your fears about what is holding you back, about tapping into that inner child, healing that inner child. And it's going to be you saying, no, I need to go after my wants, my needs, my desires. I need to focus on, like life is short. I need to focus on what my joy and what my pleasure is. And this transit's most likely going to bring some limitations that are just going to be out of your control. And the only way is for you to accept it and to surrender. And this will be an opportunity for you to strengthen your resilience, to strengthen your patience, and to learn to work through the frustration that this transit's going to bring you in order for you to navigate the information, to learn to sit with it, flow with it, see what comes at you, and to say, is this an illusion? Is this real? Is what they're bringing towards me, is what I'm seeing, is what I'm feeling real? Because remember, it's not just about you. You don't know what somebody else is going through and what they're bringing to the table. And you're having to navigate these murky waters without all of the information. And so be sure to ground yourself in the here and now as you navigate these waters. So Scorpio, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Sagittarius Sun and Sagittarius Rising, this Mars Saturn Conjunction is occurring in your fourth house. Your fourth house is Pisces, watery, flowy, wanting to be at one with the universe. And it's your home, it's your family, your universe. It is the family traditions that you have brought in with you. It's people that feel like family. It's your personal life. It's your foundation. It's property, traditions. It's literally what you build your foundation or your life upon. Now, this is important because Mars is ruling over your fifth house of fun, joy, pleasure, children, creativity, where we take risks, because the eclipses are going to occur there. And so what's going on here is what you are going after, what you're wanting to initiate, what you are fired up about. Mars also rules over your 12th house of self-sabotage, hidden fears, or tapping into the universe, tapping into my angels, my guides, my intuition, the Akashic records, doing the shamanic work. The 12th house is where we sit, we meditate, we go within in order to do the deep work to transcend, for the inner healing, in order to connect with the divine, whatever you consider or call your higher power. And so all of this is an opportunity to cut through and remove some blockages that you have regarding some of those themes. Now, Saturn rules over your third house of siblings, neighbors, cousins, short distance travel. It's how you communicate with others. Saturn also rules over your self-worth, your cash, your property, your personal resources, what you surround yourself with or what you need in order to feel safe and secure. And so this transit, it's squaring your first house of self. It's feeling uncomfortable. It can bring two things, one of two energies. The first is, I feel frustrated. I'm limited. I feel angry. You're restricting me. I feel insecure. I feel self-doubt. Or you can tap into what Saturn is offering. the restriction in order to funnel the energy into something productive. Remember that Pisces is watery. Think of it as water with the seagrass, and you cannot see through it. You have to like see only like your hand's distance in front of you. You can only navigate as far as you can see. And so it can offer you the disciplined action, the opportunity to focus, inspired action, have the opportunity to have steady progress for the home that I want to build, or the traditions that I want to have, or what I'm working with my past or my personal life. Mars is the planet that's connected to how we go after our passion, our desire with what we want to go after, how we pursue something. It's our drive. And this transit is about your desires and how you assert yourself and how you move towards and how you experience these fluctuations. Remember, it's squaring your first house and your home. This is like watery. And are you going with the flow? You're a Sagittarius. Bigger, brighter, better. Don't limit me. And the water is fluctuating with, these are my desires. I'm having this confusion. I can't see. I feel disoriented with like, what do I really want? I thought I wanted this and I don't have all the correct information to move forward with. This being an opportunity for you to say, I need to integrate these lessons. Mars is drive and passion, and Saturn being this goal-oriented. Together, this can mean that you're literally learning how to take action without using force. Mars is the sword cutting through the water. It doesn't cut through water. So you have to say, how can I go after what I want, being limited and taking control of only what I have control over, to accept and to surrender, because this is going to allow you the opportunity to strengthen your resilience and to strengthen your patience as you move forward, to learn to work through the frustration that you are probably going to feel during this transit, to navigate the information, because you're not going to have all of the information. Neither does anybody else that you're working with. And you're going to have to tap into your 12th house, your dreams, your intuition, your psychic ability, your guides, your ancestors, and say, what is real? What is not real? Like tap into heart, tap into head. What am I seeing? What do I know to be true? Be sure to ground yourself in the here and the now as you navigate these murky waters in order to learn the lesson and grow and evolve from this opportunity. All right, so Sagittarius, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Capricorn Sun and Capricorn Rising, Saturn Aries conjunction is occurring in your third house in the sign of Pisces. The third house is how you communicate, how you travel. It's your neighbors, your siblings, your cousins. It's who you communicate with on a daily basis, and it's short distance travel. Now, Mars rules over your fourth house of home. This is important because the eclipse is going to be occurring in your fourth house of home, eclipsing people, places, and things in and out of your life, bringing you this like new direction in which you're going to be going. Mars also rules over your 11th house of your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your goals. Who do you align yourself with in order to get those things, in order to move forward? It's like, oh, I want to do this. I need to join this club. I need to join this organization. I want to volunteer for this. This is how I'm going to do this. The 11th house is also your groups that you are part of for work. Now, Saturn rules over your first house of self. This is really important because it's all about you, how you're seen as an authority figure, how your appearance, your power, your self-expression. It's your strength, your habits, your outlook, your being seen, wanting to create something, wanting to do something that has a lasting effect. It's your desires, your interests. Like the first house, this is all about you and how do you go about getting what you want. Now, Saturn also rolls over your second house of your self-worth, your cash, your property, your resources, what you need in order to feel safe and secure in order to move forward. This could be you saying, this is what I value. I'm going to be selling these things, or this is really what I want to keep, or I need a pay raise, or these are the people, places, and things that I want to surround myself with. And like life is short, and these are the most important things: people, places, and things. What I need. The second house is your opinions. It's your talents. It's your skill set, and you taking stock of these things in your life. Now, this can go down two different ways. Mars, Saturn coming together can be you feeling frustrated, angry, restricted, insecure, self-doubt, wanting to move forward with something, wanting to say something, wanting to, like, literally, and feeling like everybody around you is not hearing you and not being taken seriously, or it's not important enough. Now, you could funnel the energy. Saturn has this ability to say, here is the mountain, Mars, go after it. And so it's the energy to unite. It's the energy of focus and drive and passion to go after what you want. It's determination and it's steady progress. When Mars connects up with, like, Mars, what I want, how I pursue it, and this transit of when Mars is meeting up with Saturn, it's about how are you going to assert yourself in the way that you communicate, the way that you travel. How do you move towards these experiences? And they're fluctuating. You like everything to be slow and steady, methodical, have a plan. And with Pisces, the plan is go with the flow, not easy. Just like literally think of water and the grass and you not being able to see the end and saying, so we're just going to sit here. So we're just going to hang out. I have to learn to pause. Yeah. This transit is about your self-assertion and how you move towards these experiences and how they fluctuate with your desires, offering you this confusion or possible disorientation about what do you really want. And Pisces, being this mutable sign, has you like integrating these lessons of where do I go after things and where do I learn to pause. It's Saturn is being your ruler, being so goal driven. This could mean that you are learning to literally take action without using force. How do I surrender to the flow and the harmony in order to move forward? With using as little effort as possible, using the flow of the water, the flow of the universe, putting things out there and saying, it'll naturally get there. Starting something, planting these seeds in order to move forward with, tapping into and following your intuition with the way that you communicate, with the way that, who are you sharing this information with? It's communication, it's travel, siblings, cousins, neighbors. The third house is it's education. It's who you talk and exchange ideas with on a daily basis. This conjunction is probably going to direct your attention to how you relate to your insecurities and your fears that are like holding you back in how you assert yourself, and in regards to your desires and what you're going after. And it's going to bring attention to limitations. It's literally going to bring you limitations that are out of your control in order for you to learn to accept, learn to surrender, like let go, let flow, and say, this is what I'm going to put out into the universe. This allows for a strengthening in your resilience and your patience. It's for you to learn to work through any frustration that you are feeling, in that you don't have to have control over everything and to know the end result of things. to learn to navigate this information and to tap into reality and say, is this an illusion, or is this like fake news? Is this real? Remember that everybody else, they don't have all the information either. This is you learning to navigate murky waters with not having all of the correct information, and neither does anybody else. And how do you flow with it in order to move forward? So I'm encouraging you to ground yourself in the here and the now as you move forward, Capricorn. So Capricorn, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For a private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Aquarius Sun and Aquarius Rising, the Saturn-Mars conjunction is occurring in Pisces in your second house. The second house is important because it's your self-worth. It's your cash, it's your property, it's your resources, it's your skill set. It's what you bring to the table. It's what you need in order to feel safe and secure. It's your salary, your income, your money, your values, your self-esteem. It is your attitude towards these things. It's your property. It is, what do I need to surround myself with in order to feel secure? How much money do I really have to have? Like my values, my property, my opinions. And so Mars rules over the sign of Aries. This is important because this is leading up to the eclipse. Aries is in the your third house of communication, siblings, neighbors. How do you disseminate information? How do you receive it? How do you share it with the world? Siblings, cousins, neighbors, acquaintances. Basically, how are you talking, communicating, and traveling on a daily basis? Moving towards that direction. Now, Mars also rules over your career, your job, your legacy, being seen as an authority figure, your goals, and you saying, no, my worth is this. You should value me because of. This is you saying, I need to be valued. I need to, this is my self-worth, my value, my opinions, my talents, my skill set. You initiating and going after these things. Now, Saturn. This is important because Saturn is your chart ruler. This is all about who you are. It is your personality, how people see you. It is your strength. It is your habits. It is your identity. It represents your outlook, you being seen. And Saturn also rules over your 12th house of hidden supports, enemies that we don't see, and self-sabotage. And my favorite are dreams, intuition, psychic ability, the Akashic records, ancestors, angels, guides, receiving the information from the spiritual realm, beyond, not here. And so you have all of these planets and signs playing together. And so you're going to have two opportunities of how this can go down. The first can be, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. Don't question my values. Don't question my self-worth, my property, my cash, my resources. It's requesting the pay raise. It's people not valuing or you not feeling valued or appreciated by others. Now, Saturn, let's throw this in there so you can be frustrated and angered and feel resentment or insecure or self-doubt. Or you can use the energy of Saturn and say, I'm going to use this to hone it in. Saturn is like the mountain and Mars is like the warrior. And if Saturn says this is the goal, he can direct the warrior towards the goal of this is what you really want. This is how you go after it. And so this transit can bring the energy to unite. It can give you disciplined action, a focus on what is the end goal, steady progress, and determination. It offers so many benefits that will be for you tapping into your intuition. Remember that your second house is watery. Think of it as the ocean with seagrass, and it's you trying to navigate, but the only way you can move is if there's a current or if there's a wave. Mars is a sharp knife, and when you cut through the water, it does nothing. So Saturn is saying, let's direct that energy. Mars being connected with how we go after what we want, how we pursue your desires. This transit is about your self-assertion and how you move towards these experiences and these fluctuations, the water, in your desires, the confusion that can come with this, the disorientation about, do I really want that? Do I really value that? Is this really what I asked for? And then needing to be crystal clear on that before moving forward. Pisces wants you to integrate the lessons. Mars is driven with passion and desire, and Saturn being goal-oriented together is saying that you're learning to take action without using force. You cannot use the knife in the water. You can't use it in the ocean. Like you're stabbing at the water and the leaves and the plants, and they're like moving off to the side. And you have to say, how do I surrender to the flow and the harmony in order to move forward with only using as little effort as necessary to get to where I want to be, to get to where my goals are for my career, my job, my legacy, who I am, tapping into my intuition, less self-sabotage, less self-doubt. I need to understand what are my insecurities, and because this transit, it's really going to bring these limitations that are truly out of your control. And it's a test. And it's out of your control. And you're going to have to say, okay, I have to accept, I have to surrender. This is going to strengthen my resilience and my patience as I move forward. Slow and steady wins the race. And I need to navigate the information that comes at me. It's going to be murky. You're not going to have all the facts, and neither is anybody else. And asking for the facts is going to get you nowhere. You're going to have to say, is this an illusion? Is this fake news? Is this real? Like, what's going on here? Don't get lost in the sea of information. Make sure that you ground yourself in the here and now and work to flow with it. All right, so Aquarius, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Pisces Sun and Pisces Rising, this is all occurring in your first house of self. This is literally all about you, yourself, your identity, your business card, your website, your appearance, your power, your personality, your desires, your interests. Mars Saturn Conjunction is, where do I go after what I want? And how do I pick the long-term goal? Mars rules over your second house. Your second house this is important because this is where the eclipses are occurring. The North Node is here, the Sun is here, Chiron, Mercury, like it's a loaded house. And Mars is the ruler of self-worth, cash, property, resources. The second house is your money, your finances, you saying, this is what I'm worth, this is what I need, this is what these are my talents, this is my skill set. And so you going after those things. Mars also rules over cross-cultural experiences, taking classes, taking workshops, having works published, legal matters, diving into religion, diving into spirituality, connecting with people with the bigger thoughts and ideas, not just narrow-minded. And it's a connection to higher education and having these experiences with others that you can grow and evolve and change from, because it changes who you are. Now, Saturn rules over your 11th house of your hopes, wishes, dreams, goals, aspirations, and who do you align yourself with, and saying that I need to pick the right goals. I need to align myself with this. How do I do this? These are the clubs or the organizations. This is what I need to do. Saturn also rules over your 12th house. This can be self-sabotage, hidden enemies. It can be isolation. It can be affliction. It can also, if you tap into it, be dreams, the Akashic records, ancestors, spirit guides, angels. The 12th house is where we take those deep journeys, this transcendence for inner healing, in order for us to connect to divine source or your higher power. And so as a Pisces, you're always wanting to connect to that. And how are you evolving and changing and doing these things? So this can go down one of two ways. Mars here can leave you with frustration, feeling that you're limited in where you can go, what you can do, how people see you, angry, restricted, having self-doubt, feeling insecure, feeling resentment towards others. Or you can use the Saturn energy to say, all right, I'm going to tap into my intuition. I'm going to use who I have networked with, my goals. I have the energy to unite, to form this disciplined action for focus, for steady progress, for me to get to where I want to be, where the universe is sending me with these eclipses that have to do with my money, my finances, my resources, my cash, my property. Mars being the planet that's connected to how we go after what we want, how we pursue something, it's your drive. So this transit is about your self-assertion in how do you move towards and experience these fluctuations in these desires that you're having, and this possible confusion or disorientation about what do you really want? How do you want people to really see you? Who are you changing and evolving into? Who are you growing? Who are you transforming into? As Pisces, you're watery, you're fluid, you're always moving. And working with Mars energy, Mars is a knife trying to cut through the water. It doesn't work real well. You have to navigate the flow of the waves, the flow of the current. With the Pisces energy, it's how do I integrate? Pisces wants to heal. It wants to vibrate higher. It wants to connect with everybody. How do I integrate these life lessons, these pains that I've had with the joy that I've had? And Mars being driven with passion, Saturn saying, I can point you into the right direction. You need to surrender to the flow and the harmony in order for you to move forward, using only as much effort needed as necessary in order for you to get to where you want to be. Think about the fish, and they're there and they follow the current like a jellyfish. It doesn't have It doesn't have the tail and it cannot navigate. It goes wherever the current sends it. And it's about tapping in and following your intuition. This conjunction is really going to direct your attention into how do you relate to your insecurities and your fears that are holding you back, and how do you assert yourself in regards to what are your wants, needs, and desires that you're going after. Remember, it's the eclipse in your second house of my self-worth, my cash, my property, my wants, my needs, my desires. This transit is really going to bring about some limitations that are going to strengthen your resilience and your patience. It's an opportunity for you to accept and surrender and to learn to work through the frustrations that you're feeling and to navigate the information for you to work through because it's murky. You don't have all the facts. You have to decide, is it an illusion? Is it fake? Is it real? Not to get lost in the sea of information of who are you, your appearance, your happiness, your strength, your habits. And you're going to have to ground and center yourself in the here and now as you navigate this and say, where is the universe taking me? Where am I going to next? How does this change me? How am I evolving and changing and growing and flowing with what is meant to be and who you were meant to be? All right, so Pisces, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer new moon and full moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe.